So really quick before we get started, I kind of just wanted to show you what I have in my garage right now. I have a pretty decent set of dumbbells, 5s, 10s, 15s, 20s, and a 25-pound kettlebell. I also have like various monster bands and resistance bands and a hip circle. And I also invested in a barbell with some 25-pound plates and some 10-pound plates. I hope I can get more in the future, but this is just where I'm starting at right now. I also got this yoga ball, which took me an eternity to blow up because they gave like this really ridiculous pump for it, and it took like an hour. But anyways, other than that, I also got a bench. This bench does lay flat, and everything I got was essentially from Walmart with the exception of like 2 things. The hip circle and a few of the monster bands were from Amazon, but everything else I got at Walmart. But for this workout, all we're gonna need is a lighter pair of dumbbells, a heavier set of dumbbells, and some resistance bands. Now, like I said, this is going to be a full body workout, and something that I've learned since training at home is that I've been getting crazy sore. Like the novel stimulus, I don't know, the DOMs have been so real. So I've just been taking more time doing a proper warm up. So here I'm doing cat cows. Then I'm also doing some arm circles to warm up my upper body, as well as some arm swings. And then I'm also gonna do band pull aparts. And as you can see, I'm just pulling a light resistance band, nothing too heavy, and warm up your rear delts as well. Then for lower body, I'm doing toe touches to squats. So you basically bend down, touch your toes, crouch into a squat position, and then reverse the movement. So again, it's touch your toes, squat down, unsquat, and then stand back up, and then repeat the process. After you do a few of them, you'll get the hang of it. Lastly, I want to warm up my hip flexors, so I'm just kind of like doing some roundhouse kicks. And then get in a catcher's position, and you're going to push your elbows against your knees, so it's going to really open up your hips. And then I kind of just shift my weight back and forth. I do have a hip injury that I'm constantly struggling with, so I always like to make sure that my hips are nice and warmed up. And keep in mind with these exercises that the exercise order does matter. It's gonna start off with the exercises that are most systemically taxing, and it's gonna get easier as you go along. So doing this workout in the order that I'm presenting it is a good idea, because the exercises do start out hard when you're the most fresh, and then they get a little bit easier as you go along. You don't want your exercises to get harder, because as you get towards the end of the workout, then you'll just be too tired. So for the first exercise, we are starting out with Bulgarian split squats. And I start out with just doing my body weight. If you ever see these, you might not always see people setting it up. So I wanted to show you how I set these up to keep my balance. So when my hands are on the ground, I do put my foot up, and then once my foot is in place, I can let go of the ground and kind of just get into position that way. And then when I do them with weight, I place the dumbbells on the ground, then I push off the dumbbells to get my foot up, get my balance a little bit, and then I squat down. These are really a quad dominant movement, but if you push off with your heel, you can definitely get a good glute burn out of these too. So these are just an amazing lower body exercise. Next up, we're gonna be working out the hamstrings with some single leg, stiff leg deadlifts. Okay, that's a lot of words. So some single leg RDLs, there we go. You are gonna need something to hold on to. So basically anything, I'm just using a chair. After I kind of get hold of my balance on one foot, I pick up the weight, and with these, you're just gonna wanna put a slight bend in your knee. Go down pretty slow, especially if you don't have heavy dumbbells. I normally do these with much heavier dumbbells, so to make the exercise a little bit more challenging, I do slow down the eccentric, and that way I definitely get more bang out of this exercise. With a slower eccentric, you should feel a nice burn in your hamstring from these. As you can see, you kind of swing your leg back like a pendulum, and you're gonna use hip extension to get yourself back up. But if you are limited on weight, I highly recommend on any exercise just slowing down the eccentric. Now, if you find that that's a little bit challenging with your balance, you can just do good old-fashioned dumbbell RDLs. So next up, we're gonna be working out some triceps and chest. So we're gonna go onto the ground. We're gonna be doing some dumbbell floor presses. So you wanna make sure you get into position safely. With only the 10-pound dumbbells, this was just my warm-up. I was able to prop them up really easily, and then you just press with a slight elbow flare. So you're gonna press straight up right above your boobs. You should be feeling this in your triceps and your chest. Now, when I had heavier dumbbells and I was using the 20-pound dumbbells, I did have to prop the weight up on my legs and then kind of swing myself back, just the same way that I would if like I was using a bench at a gym. And same thing, you kind of get the weights right into position and then you press straight up. And then coming back down, I did place the weights on my legs and then swung myself up. Next up, we're gonna be doing some band pull downs. So most of these resistance band kits, the ones with the handles, they do come with like a door hang. And while I was hanging the door hang, it was such a nice day outside, so I just wanted to show you how beautiful it was outside. So with this, we're just doing a regular pull down. So you wanna pull straight down, really focusing on contracting your lats. This was just my warm-up set, and I did find it a little bit too easy, so I doubled up the resistance. To make it more challenging, I did really squeeze and contract hard at the bottom, really focusing on contracting my lats, and then I released it, the eccentric, really slowly, just to get a little bit more burn from this. And I wasn't sure if you could see very well, that angle was kind of weird shooting right into the glass door, so I did do them in my kitchen, so I figured I would show you this set just for kicks. And then after that, we are going to be doing some banded glute bridges. You're gonna need a pretty heavy resistance band. The one I'm using is from Slingshot. It's the grippy one that I always use in all my videos. After you lay down, you are going to perform hip abduction. So you're gonna be actively pushing out your knees, which is why the band is useful with this exercise. So you're gonna actively be pushing out with your knees as you're thrusting your hips up, and then you're gonna squeeze your glutes at the top. This is like a good pumper exercise. So you're really gonna wanna contract at the top, squeeze your glutes, and then come back down, all while actively pushing against that resistance band. So it's a really good glute burnout exercise. And last but not least, we're gonna do a set of abs. So I did a few sets of planks. And with planks, of course, you just wanna make sure that you're completely parallel with the ground. You're not sticking your butt up, or you're not drooping it down too far. You just wanna stay completely solid. And I do find planks a lot harder since I'm a little bit heavier. But after the plank, if you want to, you can do more ab exercises if abs are like a priority to you. But after that, that was it. Okay guys, so I really hope that you enjoyed that workout.